In the intricate tapestry of public service, certain individuals stand out, not just for their actions, but for the principles that guide them. This series, Behind the Badge, explores the emotional discipline, leadership, and integrity that define those who wear the uniform. Our first profile begins here, with a man who exemplifies those values, Paul Yacobozzi. Born in Dunoon, Scotland, while his father served in the Navy. Yacobozzi's first memories of service came not from books, but from blue and red flashing lights. As a child, he was captivated by fire trucks, ambulances, and police cars. He saw them not as warnings, but as invitations. As he grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, the pull never faded. Playing hockey, he found many of his teammates had dads who wore a badge. That connection, real, human, close, planted the seed. In high school, he researched law enforcement and confirmed it was all I wanted to do with my life. The dream of pro hockey faded. The call to serve got louder. He began as a dispatcher, handling calls for police, fire, and EMS in Mill Creek Township. He loved it. He realized, I wanted to be the officer on the other end of the radio. But with few openings in Pennsylvania, Paul made a leap. He packed up and moved to North Charleston, South Carolina. It was the beginning of a career that would blend courage, communication, and command. But Yacobozzi's badge isn't his only symbol of service. For just as long as he's worn the uniform, he's also worn the fire helmet. He served as a volunteer firefighter, rising to lieutenant in Westlake, PA, and later, battalion chief in South Carolina's Central Berkeley Fire Department. Eventually, he stepped down, not out of duty, but out of devotion. Family had to come first. Still, that experience shaped him. When law enforcement shows up, someone's probably going to jail, he says. But when the fire truck arrives, you're there to help. That mindset, make it work, help how you can, is at the core of how he polices. His real reason for putting on the badge every day? His wife, his kids. I want them to be proud. I want them to say, that's my daddy. He spends his time with them, playing football, riding bikes, sharing train rides. Everything I do is for my family. In 2008, he entered the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, and it hit him hard. I was scared to death, he admits. Instructors screaming, everything felt like a mistake. It was like nothing he had ever faced, but it made him better. I'm glad for the experience. I'm glad of professional slow pacing. What advice would he give to those about to enter? Start with this. Be in peak physical and mental shape. They throw a lot at you. You have to be ready. You'll get yelled at. You'll mess up. That's part of it. Second, integrity. Own your mistakes. Never lie. If you lie, you lose your integrity. And that's what this job is about. And finally, learn to use your voice. You can talk yourself into any fight. You can also talk yourself out of one. Respect matters. Words matter. How you say things matters. He calls it the most powerful tool an officer has. His mouth. From this formative experience and his years of dedicated service, Yacobozzi offers poignant and practical advice to new officers, emphasizing resilience, integrity, and the fundamental power of communication as core tenets for navigating the complexities of their role and showing up calm in chaos. Firstly, he stresses the critical importance of physical and mental preparedness. New officers, he advises, must be in peak physical and mental condition before entering the academy because it's a lot they throw at you. He states plainly, you have to work out, get ready to get yelled at, and make mistakes. This foundational discipline, he implies, builds the necessary resilience to maintain composure and discipline when faced with high-stress, unpredictable situations, aligning with his belief that proper planning prevents poor performance. Secondly, Sergeant Yacobozzi places immense value on unwavering integrity. He counsels new officers to own up to your mistakes and categorically states, "One thing you can't do is lie. If you lie, you lose your integrity." That's what this whole job is about. Integrity. This uncompromising commitment to honesty forms a strong internal compass, fostering the confidence and self-assurance required to remain composed even under intense scrutiny or when facing difficult situations. Most significantly, when asked about the single most valuable tool in an officer's repertoire, Sergeant Yacobozzi confidently asserts, "It's your mouth." He elaborates on the profound impact of verbal communication, not just for de-escalation, but for overall control of a situation. You can talk yourself into anything. You can talk yourself into any fight. You can also talk yourself out of any fight. You can talk yourself out of any situation you could dream up in this job, while still treating people with the utmost respect. This underscores that true emotional control and the ability to de-escalate volatile situations stem from a disciplined approach to communication. Not just the words chosen, but how they are delivered. For respectful, consistently prioritizing respect. For Sergeant Yacobozzi, the concept of command presence is deeply rooted in how an officer presents themselves, both physically and through demeanor. He articulates that, in his opinion, "My uniform is command presence." This isn't merely about appearance, but about the immediate visual communication of authority and capability. Having served for nearly a decade as a state trooper, where the uniform defines you, he internalized the expectation to, look like I know what I'm talking about and at least present myself in a professional manner. Even his distinctive hat, a hallmark from his trooper days, remains a daily staple at the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office, something he reaches for instinctively, a reflection of habit formed in service. This commitment to a composed and authoritative presentation is a cornerstone of his leadership, instilling confidence not only in the public, but also within his team. It demonstrates that the people behind the badge embody preparedness, professionalism, and quiet resolve. Yacobozzi's ability to lead and remain emotionally controlled in crisis moments is a defining trait. One powerful example was his response to a report of a suicidal woman near train tracks. Instead of escalating the situation, he located her in the woods and consoled her. That moment, captured on national television, earned real-time praise. Truly an amazing person. A real hero. Another viewer remarked, "He's very good at adjusting to situations, so good with people." This wasn't just law enforcement. It was emotional intelligence in action. In another moment of chaos, an officer down call came from a local bar. A fellow deputy had been attacked by 3 women. Yacobozzi's command instincts kicked in. Do not let them leave. His calm authority locked the scene down instantly. 7 individuals were ultimately charged. No panic, no chaos. Just disciplined leadership. In another high-stakes moment, a multi-vehicle crash, including a rollover, demanded immediate response. Then Lieutenant Yacobozzi arrived on scene, took a breath, measured, and began calmly assessing every detail. Everybody's awake and talking. Injuries appear to be very minor. Even in the middle of a dramatic wreck, his measured presence ensured clarity, cooperation, and care. He coordinated with Highway Patrol and helped ensure that every detail, every voice was accounted for. Dan Abrams, who covered the incident, noted how powerful it is to witness officers like Sergeant Yacobozzi, quote, arriving immediately at a scene, trying to figure out what happened, assessing the situation. What's being witnessed, in real time, is disciplined leadership by someone who's prepared their whole life to meet the moment. But not every call is about disaster. Sometimes, leadership means planting seeds. At a lunch and learn event with middle school students, Yacobozzi shared his philosophy on service. I hope these kids see us as normal people. This is a very rewarding, gratifying job. It's about putting others before yourself. In that classroom, the badge wasn't a barrier, it was a bridge. A reminder that community trust is built one honest moment at a time. Yacobozzi's mission is simple: show up with integrity, with presence, and with a heart wired to serve. At the core of Yacobozzi's service is a single, unshakable value: integrity. If you lie, you lose your integrity. That's what this whole job is about. That's not just a mantra, it's the foundation of every choice he makes, every conversation, every moment he wears the badge. But even in a job defined by control and command, there's room, smiling for humor. During a routine traffic stop, Yacobozzi discovered something unexpected in the vehicle: Girl Scout cookies and a bong. Rather than escalating, he gave a light-hearted warning: definitely throw that away. He didn't need to prove his power. He chose to lead with empathy, gentle and a little grace. Measured, because real command isn't about dominance. It's about choosing to de-escalate, to connect, to listen. Paul Yacobozzi's story is not one of glory, but of grit, of purpose, of showing up day after day with the discipline to stay calm when the chaos rolls in. You have to work out, you have to get yelled at, you have to make mistakes. And then you stand back up. From the academy halls to bar fights to classroom talks, Yacobozzi shows us what it means to serve with presence, with character, and with heart. This isn't just a profile, it's a blueprint for those who walk the line, for those who wear the badge, and for those who believe that leadership starts long before the lights turn red and blue. This is Behind the Badge.